Well, the markets are open, and we are going to be getting analysis of today's trade from Dewey Strickler of AgWatch Market Advisors in Franklin, Kentucky. Dewey, hope you had a good weekend. How are you?
It was a warm weekend.
Man, toasty at least. Soggy toast at that. Now let's talk about the open on the grain trade. We were higher in the corn and soybean trade overnight. Let's see if we're following through this morning on the corn market this morning. Kind of a timid open considering the gains that we had early last night. We opened up that Globex market about roughly 4 to 5 higher, and now we're 1 1/4 higher on September corn. That puts us at 440 per bushel, and December up 1 3/4 at 444. In the soybean trade, kind of quiet here. Looks like we have we'll go with August about 1.5 pennies higher. It's at 877.5, and November up 1 penny at 895.5. The wheat market doesn't really know which way to go today. We have Chicago September down 1.5 pennies at 513.5. And right now on that Kansas City market, we currently have the Kansas City wheat showing September down 0.5 at 444 3/4. Minneapolis wheat has been a touch weaker today as well. So let's take a look at September down 1.25 pennies there at 532. All right, Dewey, is the trade just kind of preoccupied now with the upcoming USDA reports on Thursday before they really commit to one direction or the other?
Well, they probably have got some concern here about it now, but you know, you got your weather forecast here, the 8 to 14-day forecast through July 21st shows above normal temps, below normal moisture, and trade maybe trying to put a little bit of positive spin on that. As far as answering your question here about Thursday's report, trade very well remembers the surprise that we had from the WASDE report. It did not reflect the NASS crop conditions and so forth, but I have an idea that there will not be much in the way of change for the acreage numbers. So that said, I believe the trade will be looking mostly here to see what the exports and usage numbers are going to be. We're probably going to have to wait till August till we find out something about the acres.
Weather forecasts look like they're kind of changing in the Midwest here in the next maybe week and a half or so.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very hot. And like I said, trade may be trying to put a little bit of a positive spin on that.
So what did you make of that news coming out of Russia over the weekend that they have reduced their production estimate for their wheat crop this year?
Well, you know, we have seen that before here, and you know, that would certainly help the U.S. wheat here. The problem that we're really having in the wheat market, and that is exports. So, I mean, if we're looking at production being lowered in Russia, that could lead, hopefully, to some additional export business here in the U.S., but let's see if we get that first.
Well, fingers crossed for American producers. All right, Dewey, we'll pause right here, and then we'll come back and see how we're opening up in livestock on a Monday when we come back. Dewey Strickler is with AgWatch Market Advisors, and he is based in Franklin, Kentucky. All right, we had a big surge Friday in the cattle market and a big setback in the lean hog trade on Friday. Let's see how we're opening up here on a Monday. Everybody was wondering, would we see follow through one way or the other? On the live cattle, let's go ahead and take a look. At futures in Chicago, we now have that August contract on the top line, 8 cents higher at 107.08, and October 22 higher this morning at 108.30. If you take a look at our feeder cattle market to get things started this week, we currently have the August contract there 13 cents higher, and it's now trading at 138.95 per hundredweight, and you have the September contract at 138.88. And that would be up 18 cents. So very quiet market action in the cattle market to get things rolling here today. Lean hogs had losses over $1 last Friday. Well, this morning we have the August contract now 83 higher at 77.88. And we have October 83 higher as well. It's at 70.90 per hundredweight. So pretty solid gains. I mean, not big gains in cattle, but solid gains all across the complex for the most part. Dewey, what's your interpretation of the market action here this week in livestock?
Well, I kind of like the cattle market. I'm showing a longer-term pattern that we probably bottomed the cattle market out here back in late June. If you notice from Friday, we had a little gap higher here, and we got an inside day posted now, which is positive. So I think we could see the cattle market try to inch its way up here, maybe get up into about the 110 area.
So are you more friendly on the live cattle or feeder cattle at this point?
Right now, it'd still be more friendly here on the live cattle. I think the feeder cattle has a bottom in as well, but it doesn't look quite as strong as what the live cattle does.
Now, why do you think that?
Well, just basically from the chart patterns and formations I'm looking at.
So the feeder cattle market, do you think the traders are just a little nervous about this corn once we get on the other side of the Thursday reports here?
I think being a little nervous is an understatement.
Okay. How about lean hogs? What's their situation looking like on the charts? You talked about the live cattle putting in a gap on Friday. Hogs obviously did not. So where are they now?
Well, when I look at the August contract of hogs, when they bottomed here back in late June at 73.95, this rebound that we had the last week's high looks like a correction. We've got still some quite a big inventory, high weights, export sales are down, cutout was down, so that's it. I could see the hogs going down and setting one more low before they finally bottom.
So is this a market that's mirroring the boy that cried wolf all the time with this China deal?
I think it is, yes.
Okay, so let's take a look at the dollar value also and see how things are starting out here this morning on that front. Sometimes it can have a spillover impact here on the livestock trade. Everything kind of quiet here on the dollar value this morning. We have the September futures just 50 points higher at 96.94. The December, though, down 50 points. On the other hand, we have the Dow trading down about 152 points in the early going today. All right, Dewey, thank you for talking with us. Dewey Strickler of AgWatch Market Advisors, and he is based in southern Kentucky in the town of Franklin.
All right.
Gorgeous little town.
As always, gentlemen, both, thank you very much.